Helitech Waterproofing and Foundation Repair wants to help you keep your home in its best condition. Thanks for joining me, Burke. How are you?
Oh, I'm great. Thanks for having me, as always.
Of course, of course. Okay, so today we want to focus on crawl spaces.
Okay.
So for those that are unfamiliar, just tell me what crawl spaces may look like in a home.
So a crawl space is when you don't have a basement underneath your house, and generally they're somewhere 24 to 42 inches high, and it's literally a crawl space. It's an area for your ductwork, for your air conditioner, your pipes, and those things to be underneath the house. And so, but it's an out of sight, out of mind place. Not like our attics, right? Very rarely do we get up here unless we're putting away some storage, maybe.
That's very true. Now, what are the most common issues we're seeing within crawl spaces of homes?
Excellent question. So a lot of it boils down to is the air quality in your house. What people don't realize a lot of times, so if you've got a basement, right, that basement is heated and cooled just like the upstairs part of your house. So it's good air all the time. A crawl space is not heated and cooled except by the outside air. And so you're actually getting that, during the summertime, that warm, musty, high humidity air coming up through your house. And so those are the biggest things that cause issues, because high humidity can cause mold or wood rot, moisture in there. And then you just take into account if you've got drainage issues around your house, you could have standing water underneath there you don't know about.
Okay, so a big issue that people should get a hold of fast.
Sure.
So you talked on heating and cooling a little bit with it.
Yeah.
So with vents within the crawl space, does it matter if they're open or closed, or what are like different
Excellent
ways
question.
to look at?
Yeah, so for forever, it's always been that you put vents in around the foundation of the house when you have a crawl space. And what those should be is during kind of, March on till September, October, those should be open. And what you want is air to be able to move freely through there so that you don't have a stagnant air there. During the wintertime, though, you want those closed off, because you don't want the 10-degree temperature coming underneath the house, because that's making your heating and cooling work harder. And so they really should kind of be half on, half off, depending on the time of the year and what our weather is.
Okay, so very seasonal depending.
Absolutely.
That's interesting. Okay, so what's something that people call you on most often when it comes to crawl spaces?
So a lot of it is, hey, we had somebody out to put a wire underneath the house or to fix something, and they said there's standing water underneath the house. Well, at that point, obviously you've got a pretty good sized problem. And so obviously those things we can come in and do drainage and sump pumps and things like that.
Yeah.
But what we really want people to understand is, even if you've got that crawl space that you're not checking that, is let us come out and see. One of our service guys will get underneath there, and they'll actually crawl through, take pictures of everything, and tell you what they see and what they recommend. And a lot of times it can be very simple things. The biggest thing we try and get people to do is go ahead and close off those vents, actually seal them off, and then put a dehumidifier or change your heating and air to actually heat and cool that space underneath. So now you're getting good air coming up through your house, not nasty, damp, musty air that's underneath the house.
Okay, so to prevent that issue or any other issues we've talked about, how often would you suggest people check on their crawl space?
At a minimum, they should do it, once a quarter, so once every season, right? And you're just looking for it, because you could have a pipe leaking down there and wouldn't know it unless you check it.
Okay, good to know.
Yeah.
All right, so people have to check their crawl spaces, and they might need help, and so they might need to contact you. So how can people get a hold of you?
Yeah, we'd love to come out and take a look at anything. So phone number's on the screen, but helitechonline.com is the best way to get a hold of us. You can also go to social media, check us out, Facebook, Instagram, anywhere else, and we like to provide good tips there.
Okay, Burke, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Go check them out.